All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Bros. We would have been on time if not for, I don't know, someone here who was having some issues with he had to restart it and all this. You know, it is. I mean,
someone named Amit, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope. It was Tanner.
It was indeed Tanner.
I was live 20 seconds ago. Everyone knows I swapped directly from there to here. So
he actually was on time, and it impressed me. I thought you were going to be like 3-4 minutes late because you had to finish your live stream, but you swapped right in, which was good. Came on time.
You were watching?
No, I wasn't, but I knew you were live. So
big fan of the show.
I am a big fan of the show. I just wasn't watching today, but you came here on time, which is very nice. We got a lot to talk about, folks. We got some Meta news, OpenAI news, Google news, Tesla news, Nvidia news. And then obviously Robinhood news. So we'll try to get through some of the topics. Last week was a bit more Robinhood heavy because we were recapping the crypto event and we were talking about $100. But this week, nothing too crazy. I mean, not that much in the world of Robinhood. We'll try to get through a couple topics, but then we'll get into some of the other tech stuff that we have going on. Roy, how you doing?
Doing good. Been a fun week. Lots of news. Lots of good price action too, except for one stock. But yeah.
Which stock?
PayPal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll talk about that too. Yeah, that was a bit weird. Tanner, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's going to be an extremely exciting next month and a half or so for us. And that all starts tomorrow, earnings season. So it's going to be busy. Going to have to actually get up on time. All sorts of things that I should have been doing before, but actually means something now. So yeah,
that is fair. Okay, so let's get into the first thing to talk about today, which is kind of Vlad doing this press tour on tokenization. Obviously, we talked about the controversy last week where OpenAI accused Robinhood of like kind of making some weird token that they didn't approve of. And Vlad's been on a bunch of different podcasts over the past couple of weeks and CNBC, Bloomberg appearances trying to clear up what he's been saying. Here's a quick clip of some parts of his interview, and then we'll talk more about it.
And you probably saw last week, Chairman Atkins of the SEC gave an interview about tokenization. He called it a great innovation. And we agree with that. We think tokenization is perhaps the biggest innovation to come into capital markets in the past decade. So
it was a lot of that and more explaining of what is going on with tokenization. So I think we'll start off with you, Roy. Do you think this PR tour that Vlad's been doing is enough to kind of deal with the confusion by the general public about what tokenization is?
I mean, somewhat. There are those that are going to hate Robinhood no matter what. Like if Robinhood got into the healthcare space and cured cancer, they'd be hating on it because it's disruptive or something. So, don't worry about those people so much. They've been having roundtable discussions. Those said in one of the interviews with the SEC as well on tokenization, so which is good and healthy. Like in the past, a lot of times other administrations would just not include any industry leaders, which is crazy, or exclude certain ones for certain industries like EVs and Tesla. It made no sense. Here, the leaders from many of the spaces, including Coinbase and Robinhood, are being included, and that's good. But as far as public opinion, I think a lot of people just really don't understand tokenization. What the average person, even somebody that is crypto savvy, perhaps. The reason why I know that, and I know it's a different topic, we don't want to go fully there, is when I posted, PayPal's price action on Friday, people are like, aha, stablecoin's killing it. Tokenization is the rage. Like this is over. Bitcoin has made PayPal obsolete. And I was like, come on. So a lot of people have no idea what it is. And then there's others that are on the other side where they're not just like, hey, this is going to kill and do everything, but they're like, it's basically the equivalent of an NFT for a lot of people. So I think it's going to take time. If you remember, Vlad has actually been on the PR campaign for a while, right? Really when it kicked off was that big article to the New York Times, I believe. But it is a lot of discussion is ramping. It's not just Vlad, which is a great thing. If it was just Robinhood doing this and just talking about this, they would have an immense challenge in front of them. But there are people, including Rick Eidelman, that are talking about tokenization in very favorable, interesting ways. We can look at one of his quotes if we want to. But so it's a good start. It's going to take years and years and years for people to really understand the impact of this, what it is and what it isn't.
Tanner, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that tokenization will be huge. I think that Robinhood's in the forefront of that. I think that they're going to have competition that isn't the traditional players. I think it's going to be more along the lines of Kraken and Coinbase and these players that are actually going to start to take a large percentage of the market share and you know, financial services going forward. But Robinhood has a great blend of the traditional products while focusing a large amount of their brain share towards what's coming next. Yeah, there's another thing I want to talk about, but I want to finish this first.
So here is Rick Eidelman's quote, and people can go on. This, by the way, is I reposted it as well, but Nate is the one that shared it. And if you follow the trail, you get to this report that's free. You just have to put your information in. But he says, by the end of the decade, tokenization will be the dominant investment platform in the industry, far eclipsing ETFs, which is amazing. And he has ETFs. So, in fact, ETFs, as we know them today, really won't exist in 5 years. They'll be replaced by tokenized versions of themselves. And this will introduce not only 24/7 trading, but an array of investment opportunities that today don't even exist, says Edelman, who co-founded Edelman Financial Services. So, yeah, I thought that was really interesting to see somebody that, I don't know, that may even be more of an extreme view as far as what tokenization can do than Vlad. Maybe not, because I mean, they're doing the Robinhood chain, but there's a lot of people that are brilliant in this field that are at the forefront and are like, hey, this is going to revolutionize a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a massive industry. And I think this is not like GameStop controversy where Vlad's not communicating and people are weirded out. Like, this is just like a new form of technology that most people don't know about. And speaking of new forms of technology that people don't know about and that potentially are scared of, we did have the Attorney General in Florida come out with a probe for an investigation into Robinhood as a essentially deceptive company that is not being transparent in how they're advertising payment for order flow, how they're advertising that you can trade crypto at the lowest cost on average, and ultimately how they're being shady with their customers. The stock was at like 99.50 when this news came out, fell to 98, was at 102 this morning. Market kind of didn't care too much, but maybe this turns into something bigger than what it is. Tanner, your thoughts on if this could be a big deal?
No, absolute nothing burger. I don't care at all. This is pointless. Robinhood's going to get a bunch of speeding tickets for going as fast as they're going, but it's going to mean nothing at all.
Okay, Roy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they have a very clear understanding where the law is and where it's going. I mean, they're speaking to the president, they're speaking to David Sachs, they're speaking to the SEC. At state levels, Tanner put it very aptly. Speeding tickets is what these are at best or at worst. And if you look at that list of things that they subpoena for, a lot of them are completely unrelated, which I don't know how you can do that, but I guess you can when you're in charge. But absolutely has nothing to do with what they supposedly are complaining about. So I don't know where that's coming from, but it's a little bit weird, but nothing burger.
Yeah, I agree. I think the dude is bored, bro. I think there's so many more important things to go after in the state of Florida than Robinhood.
Yeah.
Like, I went on a rant on this already on my show, but it's just like, at some point you would think that he wants to pick up a speeding ticket and maybe Vlad pays it because he doesn't want to deal with this. But if I was Dan Gallagher, the chief legal officer, I would look at this shit and be like, really? You're really going to make us deal with this? And maybe you fight back and say, we're not going to pay you.
Yeah.
They're going to, hopefully they fight everything back. I mean, they don't deserve to pay these things. They're not going to get bullied, but it's not going to stop them from putting out new products and try to take over new markets. That's what they're going to continue to do.
And there will be probes, investigations, inquiries along the way. But I mean, you mentioned Dan Gallagher's name. He was one of a handful of folks that was being considered for the chair of the SEC. So it's not like Robinhood has people that are not very good at their job as far as on the legal team. They're excellent. And there's a specific reason why they word things that they do on all these events, why they do things what they do as well. and it may be pushing boundaries, which is typically what a disruptor does, but they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so our kind of last topic here on Hood, at least from my side, if you guys have anything, you can bring it up, is this thing that really matters for Robinhood. Bitcoin, all-time highs, 123, now 119. Tanner, are we going to get some juicy trading volumes on Hood for Q3?
Well, yeah, for Q3, right? Maybe, but the truth is that we're actually still not seeing a whole lot of retail trading. This is all institutional, I think. We do have Bitstamp now that came on the end of June, and we don't know how much Bitstamp has contributed for Robinhood in Q2 or even into Q3 here. So that is a little bit interesting now that Bitcoin's going to 120 because they do deal with institutional clientele. But overall, this means that the average take on the volume is higher, like on a per trading basis. Dollar amounts are higher in accounts, means that they're going to make more. But overall, we're still judging the total aggregate volume that's flowing through Robinhood's account. We already know what that was in Q2. So I think the market's getting a little too excited about Robinhood, even though we know exactly what they're going to put out for Q2. That's the only thing. But I think people are looking ahead. They're looking at Q3, Q4, these sort of things.
Yeah. I think
real quick right before you go, there is an Nvidia candle we are seeing overnight. I don't know why. It's at 167, up about 2%. So I'll see if I can get a headline on that, but we do have Nvidia making a little bit of a move overnight. All right,
love it.
Roy.
Yeah, I'm not finding it. There's actually a tracker that basically tracked Bitcoin trading volume, and it was up a pretty good amount. One thing that's really interesting about Bitstamp is actually a lot of XRP is on platform and also is traded as far as volume. I'm not finding the right site. This is one of them as well. But of course, a significant amount of Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. Ethereum's been doing well. On Robinhood itself, Doge is really like, if Doge is doing well, people are trading it, talking about it. Robinhood is raking it in because most Doge is traded on Robinhood as well. But as far as the actual volumes, this is overall across the entire market, across every single cryptocurrency. And you can see it is and has been spiking. But if you zoom out to Tanner's point, let me look at 1 year. We're just now beginning to get back to where we were during really that very big amount of volume that we saw in mostly in quarter four. So we'll have to see how that holds over time. But if this continues to be elevated, smashing through all-time highs, other cryptocurrencies running as well, and Crypto Winter has staved off, I mean, they're positioned very, very well. So there's a reason why a certain analyst called it generational today.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the analyst. Real quick, guys, I think I got the headline. Nvidia expects to license their H20 GPU to China again. That is the headline.
Wow. Yeah, they
That's
were talking about
news.
They were talking about being able to sell chips there again, but it sounded like it was going to be a different chip entirely, which, I mean, if you have to keep doing that, that's not great. So being able to go back to the H20 is significant. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, which like truly goes against what Jensen said, right? Like,
Wait, but hold on. This makes no sense. If the White House doesn't allow us to sell them chips, how the hell are we like?
It's because you ever get a craving for Mexican food, like the crispy shell variety that you put some ground beef and cheese and sour cream in it. What do you call it? Starts with a T.
Okay, bro.
Oh yeah, taco. Trump always.
No. I okay. That was actually a good setup. I was so lost. I was like, where are you going? But freaking Trump hasn't said anything. So why is the street pumping on this?
I mean, it's one of those. A lot of times when people say this, I'm like, no, this is balderdash. But somebody knows something. That could well be the case. That somebody's ahead. There's rumors coming out. And with a company this big, there's a lot of people that would know something. So this could be yet another case of that, which is ugly, but hey, we're all in Nvidia, so at least we have that.
I mean, if this is true, which the street's obviously acting like this is true right here, Nvidia might be breaking all-time highs in the overnight markets. 167.89 is the level you got to watch out for. I mean, as long as Trump substantiates it, and we do have a China deal already, right? Kind of. It just hasn't really we don't have a ton of details on it. Then yeah, Nvidia. I mean, China's back, baby.
Yeah.
I'm getting DMs now about it.
Everyone's trying to figure. I mean, this is what happens, right? When you're live and you get breaking news. But okay, Tanner. So if Nvidia can sell to China again, bullish.
Very bullish to the tune of essentially anywhere between 8 and roughly like $12 billion a quarter. So extremely bullish. Now, how do they do this? Two ways. I mean, it's not necessarily a ban on the H20. It's more a ban on the performance, on the parameters of that chip, to my understanding. So maybe they toned it down. I'd be surprised that it's not renamed or something like that if it was. But I am surprised because Jensen said this is the death of Hopper in China. And then what I assumed was he was sort of setting up for introducing a Blackwell version of almost like a B30 chip for China, something along these lines. But it does seem like hopefully the H20s do reopen. Maybe it's only to a small extent. I don't know how it ends up getting pulled together. But if it is true that a segment that Wall Street has written off for the largest company in the world gets to come back, this is a $50 billion annual run rate new business for Nvidia, let alone if we want to get into what Mark Zuckerberg said today for Meta. I mean, this is insane.
I think that's a good transition.
We're 167 and still no one's taking Nvidia seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even crazy as far as the pricing of it. Like, I didn't buy more Nvidia since it was down significantly lower. It's not that I hated these prices either, and I probably should, honestly, but like every single freaking headline is like, oh, Meta has this great news for them. That's great, but you know who it's great for? Nvidia. Oh, Nebius, they have this amazing news. Well, that's great for Nebius. You know who that's also good for? Nvidia. And just thing after thing like hits, and it's like Nvidia. Like the Trump AI partnership thing, Palantir. I'm sure Nvidia it's good for as well. It's just, man, what a company.
Bro, it's breaking all-time highs right here.
I gotta look.
It's unbelievably huge news. It really is. This is huge.
Massive
news.
Yeah.
China was a big part of their revenue stream. If I remember correctly, it was like getting close to 20%, something like this. I think it was 17%. And then people started expecting it to go down to 0. That's a big ad.
Bro, she wants 170 now, dude. Holy crap. That's up $4 overnight. That's $100 billion in market cap. They have 25 billion shares outstanding.
Yeah, I can't wait for the market to open on this. I mean, this is insane.
Oh my.
Yeah, and the neat thing is when Nvidia moves on news overnight, a lot of stocks, it's like it's overdone and it's small volume. Nvidia, when there's news, there's a freaking amount of volume. There's a lot. So keep in mind the volume that you're seeing here is just what's happening on Robinhood, maybe on boats, probably on boats as well, but there's other players as well. So
yeah, supposedly they announced a fully compliant GPU for China.
Okay, but that still requires Trump to allow them to sell that fully compliant GPU, I imagine.
But he just met with Trump. Maybe something happened.
Well, exactly. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Wow, boys.
This is what I mean. He is the best navigator of the political scene of any other CEO. Like, this guy's going to Beijing and being like, we love our Chinese partners. We've been doing business in China for 30 years and we're never leaving. And then coming back to Trump and going, almighty Trump, okay, we're going to do what you can. Like, he's selling weapons to both sides of the war. I mean, he's the best, dude. He's the best.
Bro, he just took the S&P to all-time highs in the overnight market as well.
Gotta love it.
He just took the S&P to all-time highs. AMD trying to get to 150. Google's up a little bit on this. Palantir might get to 150 on this. I mean,
that's the fun thing is when it's something like this, when it's one of the market leaders as a massive cap, like good news for them is good news for everybody as far as the stock price, just about.
Yeah, they're the seller of chips to the world.
Yeah. And honestly, it is really good news for the United States too. Like Jensen was making very cogent points like, hey, we're not able to sell them, then they're going to have to accelerate that side of the industry. And do you really want China competing?
Dude, I love this stock so
Holy
much.
crap.
Wow.
I love this stock so. Oh, PLTR. Tanner, this guy is in your channel as well.
Yeah, he's donated to me like a bunch too. He's crazy.
Oh boy. Thank you for the $300 super chat, brother. Appreciate it. Bought a lot of HUD 8 and TTD, $100 for you three to buy HUD 8 shares. Thanks for doing this all to the communities. All right, so then I have to Venmo or PayPal. I have to PayPal.
Hey, they own Venmo too.
Yeah, but yeah, they own PayPal. Right? Tanner doesn't have it because he's from, Canadian.
I'll take PayPal, baby.
So I have to Venmo them each $100, and we have to buy what? HUD 8? He wants us to buy HUD 8?
Hey, that's fine. Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh,
yeah.
you're on the train now too, Amit?
No, I'm just saying it's 300 for obviously 3 people. He said 100 for
Yeah.
you 3. So
No, but I'm saying whenever I get donations, I buy those stocks. But are you saying you're also going to do something along that line?
I've done that casually. I don't have a full fund like you've set up.
Yeah.
But like I've done that for like stocks I'm bullish on.
So Amit, get the cowbell ready. I think 170 is probably deserving of it.
Folks, are we ringing the cowbell for 170?
I mean, we have, dude, get ready.
Come
I
on.
just saw 98. I'm seeing
All
98.
right. I see it too.
99?
Oh, it wants to bust.
Yeah.
There she is.
170.
There she is.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in the greatest time in human history to be an investor. 170 on Nvidia.
America. I mean, look at it go. Keep ringing it. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude. Holy. This is. Bro. This is. incredible. I mean, this is a big deal. I every time this happens, I feel like I owe Tanner a thank you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like that's one of the best things, guys. If you don't have this in your own life, you don't have to do a stream or anything, but have a small group of people that think a little bit differently than you, that whose opinion you respect, bounce ideas off. Doesn't mean you always get it right, but usually, like, make sure you're outside of the echo chamber. But man, you'll look at and have a different perspective than you ever would before with certain companies. And Nvidia was frankly very obvious, but I don't know that I would have gotten into it except for Tanner just pounding the table again and again and again. And I'm like, fine.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Makes me feel good. And Amit, you can send me $100 if you want. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I won't turn down money. Yeah.
Volume is 870,000 shares.
Yeah.
The news is the H20 is coming back to China from Nvidia. And Palantir is trying to go for 150 overnight. S&P.
Who doesn't want overnight markets, though? I mean, this is so much fun to sit here at 9:55 p.m. and watch a company hit all-time highs.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
pretty
like most of the risks really were when the aftermarket, the extended trading hours were first being considered. You know, people were concerned about the low volume, low liquidity, overnight action as well, just sketchy where things happening. But since that has already been done, and it's been done, I mean, not that there's no problems, but it's been done well. It's like, dude, why not just allow 24/7?
Dude,
on that already, like, not a big deal.
People in your chat are telling me to get a life.
What do you mean get a life? Like,
Because
this is
I'm
life.
following a company at 10 p.m. You're watching, bro.
First of all, yeah, like this is our life. What are you talking about? And then Palantir, Roy.
Yes.
150. I mean, it's got a hold in the morning for Nvidia and Palantir, but still, dude,
Yeah, that's amazing.
it's pretty incredible. Okay, so speaking of Nvidia, then let's transition to Meta because we had some pretty big news today. Zuck's dropped a hammer and said, "Hey, we're going to be building massive gigawatt cluster, multi-gigawatt cluster data centers. The first one's coming online in 2026. He then said Meta Superintelligence Labs will have industry-leading levels of compute and by far the greatest compute per researcher. And it was his first kind of public acknowledgement that they've been stealing a ton of talent and building out the most elite team of talent for superintelligence. Tanner, What was your reaction to what Zuck said today?
Well, I mean, those parts, yeah, we know. It's mainly the Prometheus, Hyperion, the extra Titan clusters that they want to add on that I think is just for each 1 gigawatt cluster that they add is $40 to $50 billion of revenue to chip makers like Nvidia and AMD. So it's unbelievably huge for the AI industry. And whenever Mark Zuckerberg does this, Amazon, Google, all these players, they're not going to sit on their hands. The only company planning to do nothing about this is Apple. So, I'm just very happy to know that Mark Zuckerberg's leading the way. Someone has to be a trailblazer, but a bunch of people are going to follow to make sure that they have a job tomorrow. So, all of that is going to benefit companies like Jensen Huang, Lisa Su. The family holidays between them and their extended family is just going to be insane. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're going to book out an island or something, but crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Roy, do you think that... I mean, here's the better question. Is this kind of desperate by Zucks to you, or do you think he is putting his foot down and saying we are not going to just sit quietly as the other competing LLMs gain momentum and we are really going to try to win this AI race?
This isn't desperate. I don't think anything he's done
what's
is
desperate about this?
I think it's calculated. Well, you could arguably say him paying hundreds of millions of dollars for AI talent is, I don't think it was. We'll have to see, what the strategy is.
To Roy point, Tanner, Elon's not paying hundreds of millions. He has a mission that he's keeping people aligned with, right? So I don't know. Maybe Zucks doesn't have that mission, and therefore he's desperate paying all this money.
I think
we're not even sure that is what is happening yet. Like that's all
true.
the street
That's true.
talking so far. We don't even know if that's the case until earnings.
I really think what this is for mostly is to make the metaverse come alive. And if they're successful, I think we talked about it last week. This is how you do it. There's a lot of CapEx expenditure and you need top tier talent. They lacked the top tier talent, and to Tanner's point, like this is kind of like the Cold War when United States and Russia were involved as far as the nuclear arms race. They didn't just get enough nuclear arms to defeat their opponent, but to destroy world civilization 50 times over. So when there is this kind of race and this big of stakes, and there are massive stakes in this, and frankly, I hope that Meta doesn't win. There are going to be many other people also that have deep pockets that get into this race as well. A lot of interesting partnerships, crazy mergers and acquisitions. And one thing that I really love from this, and I do follow baseball sometimes. I mean, when I have time, I haven't had a lot of time recently. Football very casually, but you'll see these massive, like tens or hundreds of millions of dollar contracts specifically for high-end professional sports and basically nobody else. And now the brainiac, the nerd, the genius, as it relates to AI talent, is getting those kind of contracts. And it's just like, this is a wild, crazy time to be alive, guys. It really is.
It's real. It's very, very real. I mean, my take on this as well is I don't think Zucks is desperate here, but I think it's super bullish for Nvidia if he's getting ready to spend this much. And I think the New York Times also reported that Meta might be thinking of transitioning to a closed model versus open source model.
Yeah.
And I think, we make fun of OpenAI for saying they're OpenAI, but they're not actually open. But it makes sense. Like at the end of the day, the distribution and the usability of these open source models just isn't as A, monetizable, or B, useful for the companies that are spending tens of billions of dollars to develop them. So if Zucks really is going down the other route, then it's something it seems like he feels he has to do. It's for a use case that's not as inadequate like the metaverse was. Maybe he is trying to rebuild the metaverse, but if he's trying to go all in on AI, whatever that may look like, whatever super intelligence is, seems like you have to spend the money, because if you don't, 10 years from now, you're going to look back thinking, why didn't we spend the money?
Can you believe that there's an alternative reality out there where OpenAI is still doing this non-for-profit, and it's just like...
I honestly, do you guys think that the AI race would be as far along if that was the case? Because I don't.
No, I think it would hamper it for sure. Yeah. But that's a really funny idea. And then someone whispered in Sam Altman's ear, like, "Hey, dude, you could be a top 10 business in the world, like trillions of dollars, if you just say F the charity. And he was like, all right, bye.
Well, one of the reasons, so our good friend Steve, who's all three of our friends, he is coming out with an article soon about Lemonade. And Lemonade is a PBC, public benefit corporation. Lemonade takes some of their unused premiums per year and they give back to whatever causes they give back to. And Steve found this out over the weekend. And you can see right here, Lemonade said we gave $2 million to 45 nonprofits. And Steve went to town in his new article that's coming out tomorrow about this. And the reason I'm bringing it up right here is because, I mean, look, there are a lot of ethical components to business, but at the end of the day, if you're investing in a company, you kind of want to make sure their number one obligation is to return capital to shareholders. And public benefit corporations are nice, but OpenAI ended up being too powerful to be a charity. And now they're going to make trillions of dollars.
Yep. I think that whenever you're picking a stock, you need to put emotions a little bit to the side and realize that you're trying to maximize profitability. If you have a moral qualm with that, investing is going to be hard because the companies with the highest margins usually do best.
And I'll say it's still fine to have, moral qualms in certain spaces. Like if you're like, hey, tobacco killed my dad, I'm not going to invest in Philip Morris, no matter whether they're going to 10x over the next 10 years. Then do that. Like be you. I won't invest in Meta just because I think their vision for humanity in the world is not good and not healthy. And I have more respect now for Zuck than I did before. Like I've always had a respect for him as an executor and a CEO, but as a person, so I won't invest in there, but there's plenty of other companies that I can make money in, and I'm good with that. There's people that have objections to him based on moral reasons or philosophical reasons. Same with Palantir, and that's fine. There's plenty of places to invest. Just if your morals makes it so that you can only invest in like 10 companies, that's going to be a problem.
This charity is burning a hole in my margins.
Dude, but that Steve called me last night. He was like, these guys give away their money to charities. He's like, I'm going to town in my new article. I was like, the Lemonade folks are going to come after you, bro, because they protect their lemonade.
I vaguely remember reading something. I don't know if this relates to it, that Lemonade, because of some sort of legality, was forced to give away a certain amount of their unused money from premiums.
There's no way there's a legal reason.
I'm going to have to look that up. I don't think it was this vehicle, that it had to be, that it was a different type of vehicle, but I'll see if I can find that.
All right, boys, you want the full statement from Nvidia?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. This month, Nvidia founder and CEO Jensen Huang promoted AI in both Washington, D.C. and Beijing, emphasizing the benefits that AI will bring to the business and society worldwide. In the U.S. Capitol, Huang met with President Trump and the U.S. policymakers, reaffirming Nvidia's support for the administration's effort to create jobs, strengthen domestic AI infrastructure and onshore manufacturing, and ensure that America leads in AI worldwide. In Beijing, Huang met with government and industry officials to discuss how AI will raise productivity and expand opportunity. The discussions underscored how researchers worldwide can advance safe and secure AI for the benefit of all. Huang also provided an update to customers, noting that Nvidia is filing applications to sell the Nvidia H20 GPU again. That's why the stock is running. The U.S. government has assured Nvidia that licenses will be granted. Wow. He kissed the ring and Trump is reciprocating. Yeah. And Nvidia hopes to start delivery soon. Soon meaning maybe Q3?
Yeah, they got the keys in the ignition. The trucks are loaded. They're ready to go.
They are so ready to deliver these GPUs. Finally, Huang announced a fully new compliant NVIDIA RTX Pro GPU that is ideal for the digital twin AI for smart factories and logistics. As Huang noted during his visits, the world has reached an inflection point. AI has become a fundamental resource like energy, water, and the internet. Jensen emphasized NVIDIA's commitment to support open source research, foundation models, and applications which democratize AI and will empower emerging economies in every region. General purpose open source research and foundation models are the backbone of AI innovation. We believe that every civil model should run best on the U.S. technology stack, encouraging nations worldwide to choose America. That's why the stock is running. NVIDIA would not put out this statement unless they had absolute confirmation by Trump that they will be granted the licenses to export these GPUs to China.
Yeah, well, they're bringing like $500 billion to the states for infrastructure purposes. So, if you remember, Trump said whenever that happened that they were going to expedite all permits and everything for NVIDIA to bring that to them. So, this could be a piece of goodwill from the Trump administration for Jensen Huang, a company that's $4 trillion, they are a massive piece to the United States economy. So Trump wants to be in good favor as well, as reciprocal relationship, I guess.
If I remember correctly, I think right after Jensen stood with Trump and they announced that massive investment in infrastructure here in the United States, that big spend, I think it was like a day or two after that they banned the H-20s. And I'm like, that's not going to stick. I mean, there's no way, because Nvidia has a massive negotiating lever. And to your point, Tanner, you've been in this company for a long time. Jensen's very good at navigating this. Some CEOs are not, but they have a lot of power behind them. So I'm actually a little bit surprised it took this long. I thought maybe there'd be a turnaround in like a week or two, but instead it took a number of months. But that was our opportunity to get in heavy, guys. Heavier.
Dude, remember overnight? I think like it was after hours on freaking like end of April, early May. They banned. It was the 5 billion charge off news came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Nvidia fell to 103 from like 110. It was barely hovering about 110, and then just like,
yeah.
I mean, dude, this thing might hit 200 this year.
And dude, you know what's so funny about that 5-point-something billion is that they repurposed a lot of those chips, and they probably will have repurposed the rest of them by this thing as well. So they probably will take zero hit, or if not, it'll be an added benefit onto the next quarter. So, insane news.
Okay, so this kind of transitions us into a
Q3
quick macro
news, by the way, not Q2. So don't expect,
Yeah, Q3. So from a macro perspective, we do get CPI tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be really big now with this Nvidia news and CPI. Projections are 2.6. That would be a little bit increased month over month. Are you guys selling anything if CPI comes in hot? And the broader question I have here is like, do you think anyone cares anymore about CPI?
I think it's less and less relevant as time goes on. Like, honestly, it's not where their goal is and their target is, but if you look historically at where CPI has been, this is not abnormal. This is actually really stable. The only concern with CPI is really if tariffs stick and just, it's off to the races with CPI for some reason. And I don't think anybody's expecting that as far as like the crazy numbers that we saw back in April of like, I think there were some people saying it was going to get close to 10%, which is just like, okay, I don't know what you're smoking, but no. But ultimately, as time goes on, I think the Fed will actually be less and less of a player. There needs to be some more rate cuts first, but that's a great place. I mean, it's been a long time since we've been able to look at markets and not. It used to be like this is back in 2019 when the Fed came out and they talked about CPI and they had their monthly meeting and everything. They like very few people would be paying attention because it didn't matter. And for a while, the single most important person was Jerome Powell as it related to what he said as far as how the stock market moved. Now, and you may not like this, but I mean, that's the reality. And I prefer this over the other reality. President Trump is the single most important person, but there's also a lot of other people too that are important as well. And that's fine. Business leaders, companies, President Trump versus an unelected official. So, in like maybe 2 or 3 years, I think we might go back to the norm of the Fed when they announce and they talk. Nobody really pays attention because it matters so little at that time. Not there yet.
Tanner, do you think it matters anymore?
If you bring up that chart about all the companies showing their different, I think these are the companies that are going to be affected by this, which is funny. The banks will be affected by CPI. SoFi may be affected by CPI, but other businesses, no. I don't think the stocks will move too much on a bad report.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think anyone's meaningfully selling in this type of a bull market their stocks if CPI is a little bit hotter than expected, which begs the question, does the S&P forward multiple deserve to be raised? Maybe not from a earnings perspective, even though I do think Q2 earnings will be good, but just from a pure perspective that people are willing to pay more for companies in this type of a market, not because they're meme stocks, but rather because the reasons to not pay those multiples, like inflation or the labor market, et cetera, are not creating recessionary impacts, which maybe they will. And then, a lot of this stuff starts to matter. But if there's not a recession, maybe it's just not the biggest deal anymore. And maybe that's why people aren't going to sell.
Here's the CPI chart. It goes back further. I can only do 10 years on this site. I know there's other sites where you can do that. I'm not paying whatever, but you can see here there are times when it dips below. Those are usually recession times, by the way, so they're not necessarily good. But a lot of it is trading around the 2 to 2.5% mark. So it's not abnormal. It's not crazy. Even if it spikes to 2.6, I mean, look at where we've been. It's not a cause of concern. So good place to be.
Did you guys read the report from JMP today?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. That it goes into Hood and SoFi, right?
Yeah.
It goes into every single one of his names.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like Coinbase, you might want to look at as well.
Okay, so why don't you set it up? What was kind of his core? Let's talk about Hood and SoFi in particular, and then we'll talk about Coinbase. What was his core point?
Trading volumes look super strong for Robinhood. Digital lending looks really good, which was interesting because he kept his price the exact same. Everyone's calling out the fact that it was a downgrade. It's not necessarily a downgrade. He just didn't move his price.
Wait, on Hood?
On SoFi.
Oh, you're talking about SoFi. Okay, cool.
On SoFi, he didn't move his price, so it stayed at 17. He did actually raise EPS for next 2025 full year, and he increased it for 2026 from 50 cents to 52. But that's still under what SoFi is expecting. So SoFi on the low end is at 55 cents. The average is 68 cents. So there could be a lot more that Devin increases their price on. This is a new position for them. Devin said that they've been following it since IPO, but they've only started to initiate coverage since April. So
you and I were getting a foot massage when you got the notice, right?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Well, it's a weird thing that
no, but hold on. Did that
literally were.
Okay, so I'm telling the truth, right? Like I'm not lying.
No, I agree with you. We were reading an analyst report, getting foot massages. And I was like, look, dude, $17 price target, and the fair value is $25 if what he believes is going to happen by 2030. That still ended up being the same. So he said, if they do get to $1.75 of EPS by 2030, that he thinks that the fair value price today should be 25.
So why doesn't he have 25 as his price target?
I think it's caution because he's new in the name and they've not covered it that long. By the way, the reason why we're talking about him, a lot of analysts, there's some okay analysts, there's some ones that are like good at this and not good at that. If you look at this is on tip breaks, and a lot of it is performance based, but Devin Ryan is number 7 out of almost 10,000 and number 19 out of 41,000 experts. So
he's a legendary analyst.
Yeah, he's not a slouch. I had some people, SoFi investors, and I like these guys, but they were like, this guy's, he's a clown. I'm like, dude, I disagree with his price target. He doesn't understand SoFi as deeply as he will probably in the next year. But he still, made a pretty bold call. Anyway,
as someone who read the report from top to bottom, he didn't say a single negative thing about SoFi.
He didn't.
Everything was positive. He said that the fair value before was being very underpriced. I told him it whenever we were get foot massages. You're not beating the allegations. That he said that the stock was in need of a re-rating. It's gotten a re-rating.
Yeah.
So now he said that it's more comfortably where it should be. Now, I don't know if he says that where it should be is here, that why doesn't he correct the price? I don't know. It's something that I want to talk to him about. Maybe I'll email him or something, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But the thing that really got me excited though was his comments on Robinhood. Of course, he's been in Robinhood. He's been very bullish on Robinhood. You raise the price target. Excuse me. But he used the word that I hadn't seen him use before. Maybe he has, generational. He called Robinhood a generational company.
Yeah.
And he raised it to 125.
Yeah.
Well, go to my tweet, please. Go to my Twitter. He raised it to 125, but that wasn't the only price target he gave, was it?
Oh, yes.
Actually, what?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't see that this morning. What?
Yeah, I had to read that twice because I was like, let me just get this.
Make it
Whoa.
brokerage in the world.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me read this. So As we have been writing, we believe Robinhood is positioned to more than 10x his business over the next decade, which we have estimated could lead to a $400 share price. So call it by 2035, right? Obviously, the stock has seen a strong move of late and is eating in a bit to the longer term stock opportunity, but we still see attractive returns for a longer term focused shareholder from here, even though we appreciate it. The stock will not move in a straight line, as evidenced with the April sell-off where it bottomed at 30. We have argued from our 2021 initiation report that Robinhood is a generational company that will continue to push the envelope in financial services well beyond investing and will continue to add products and services beyond its existing offering, creating a one-stop shop relationship for customers on a unified tech stack. As we have been writing, we believe $400 a share is possible.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, and plus
400
plus.
plus.
400 plus. Dude, so I saw the 125. I didn't see the 400, bro.
Yeah.
yeah.
Insane, man.
Well, and you say their legacy brokerages should be nervous. It's not just brokerages. I was sharing with somebody on this today is like, this is a company that when they say democratize finance, they actually mean it. They're not just like, it sounds nice, you know, our think tank thought about this and we're going to put it on paper, but that's not really our goal. We're going to democratize brokerages. It's like, no, if that was their goal, they would have said that. They're not acting like that. They're doing anything but. And I agree with him that this is a generational company. Like that's one of the things I had some discussion, with certain, I didn't discuss directly, but there's people when a stock runs that they expect it to just do crazy things at that point. Not everybody, but some. So like people are throwing out $75 price targets in a year or year and a half on SoFi, which I would love to see that because I own a lot of it, but it's very, very unlikely. Just because Palantir is very expensive, or in that case, they're saying Walmart and Costco, it's a weird thing. Or even Robinhood is expensive or ran this much doesn't mean every company will. And a lot of it comes down to, of course, macro sentiment, but also the quality of the business. So when Wall Street perceives a company as being exceptional quality with a deep moat that continue to throw out and disrupt entire spaces and industries, in fact, not just throwing those out, but defining them, you get, it's still extreme, but you get things like you see with Palantir and with Robinhood and that price action. You can't expect that in most companies. That doesn't mean they're not worthy investments. They are. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't park some of your money there. Perhaps you should. But generational companies produce generational results.
What was that stat that you said the other day, Amit? Like 90%
of the public market value is created by 2% of the public market stocks.
Robinhood's in that 2%.
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
It might not actually be just because they're such a small company.
Yeah.
And
not in the S&P 500 yet.
Okay, we'll talk about that. But they're
we should
90.
talk about that.
They're 90 billion at 100. Let's assume Devin Ryan's correct about the 400. So that's 4x. That would be 360 billion, right? No financial institution besides the JP Morgans of the world are even I think JP Morgan and Bank of America are there. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley are below.
I don't even know if Bank of America. I know JP Morgan is.
Bank of America market cap is
right there.
350.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs is at 218. Morgan Stanley's at 230, and then JPM's at like 800, 802. So if Devin Ryan's talking about 400 a share, he's talking about literally top 5 financial institution in America.
I think they'll get there.
Okay, Roy, we got to talk. All right, we got to address this. Let's deal with this right here. Roy, go ahead, set this up.
Yeah, I'm doomed. You likewise, Amit, are going to at least take a hit too. Jim Cramer came out with a new acronym. Now, this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. He is the guy that coined FANG. If you're not familiar with FANG stocks, look those up.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
You didn't know that, Tanner? Yeah, he coined it. FANG.
Yeah.
I know FANG. I just didn't know that was him.
He was one of the early guys on the Magnificent Seven. I don't know that he was the earliest, and those have performed well. He tried joining the Batman when they added AVGO to it. Nobody cares about AVGO. Sorry, AVGO holders. You're doing well, though. And so this is a new attempt at doing the same thing. So to his credit, he does well identifying, very high quality companies. These have also ran an incredible amount too. So they may not have the same incredible results going forward. But you have the very strong Palantir, of course, one of a generational company, Robinhood, that I think likewise. App 11, I think, is actually positioned very well. I don't have an investment. Coinbase, again, another high quality company, but I do own those two on the right hand side in my fake 12-month portfolio where we did the stock draft. Those were high drafts for me. So I basically own all 4 of these. And I'm like, come on, Jim. Why?
Dude, everyone says inverse Kramer. If you inverse Park ETF, it's crap.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. I think everyone's reading this wrong. He is saying this literally to highlight that all of these are meme stocks. Like that's the reason he's coming up with this. He tweeted about it. He said it in the morning. He said, these are basically the new meme stocks. And so he's like framing it through this, like, here's how you can park your money.
But in what way is Coinbase a meme stock?
No, but that's my point. These 4 are not meme stocks, in my opinion. So the fact that Kramer's actually facetiously, of course, I can't say that because I can't say the S and the H ever. Of course, like I can't say, why do words have an S and the H together? I don't get it. But he's trying to like make a meme out of the fact that these 4 stocks are his meme stocks, his park your money stocks, because they're so meme-ish, which to me is bullish because he's actually presenting this in a bearish way, not in a bullish way.
I didn't know that. That's helpful context.
Like the whole point of that narrative is not, oh, you guys should invest in Robinhood, Palantir, App 11, and Coinbase. His actual argument, his underlying tone is these are the new meme stocks.
I thought he was bullish on Palantir, though.
I mean, he's bullish one day.
No, never mind. No, he's always been saying he doesn't know what they do or what. Never mind.
He's just mad that Alex Karp won't come on his show and do an interview. That's really it.
He literally called Palantir a meme like 2 days ago on Twitter. So I
don't get why Coinbase doesn't fit into that list. I understand retail is all over Palantir. They're all over Robinhood. They're all over App 11. Honestly, retail doesn't really care too much about Coinbase. The crypto guys are all over their own coins, but it's mainly institutional money.
I disagree with you with that. Unless things have changed substantially, there is more retail participation in Robinhood than when we began, but it's still an institutional held stock. Palantir is very retail. Coinbase is very, very, very institution. App 11, I think, is institution as well. It's not a beloved retail stock. People were sleeping on it, including myself, as it outperformed everything pretty much last year.
Yeah, look what he's saying. A new acronym for meme stocks that, like, he's obviously trying to be, he's trying to be that guy who's like, oh, wow, these stocks are doing so great. But in reality, his underlying tone is like, guys, these are all meme stocks, which means he's bearish, which I think is good for us.
Yeah, which is so dumb. I also hate that type of tone because then if it goes wrong and all those crash, you'll be like, called it. And then if it goes up, you'll be like, I called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Robinhood has a 70% institutional holding, so it's not as extreme as it used to be, but it's still pretty.
Well, I didn't even mean by percentage wise. I just mean by like if you go on X or something, there is quite the large, or maybe it's just because I'm in like very deep in that.
It's the algo. It's not like. I know a lot of people that follow us do care about Robinhood. A lot of it's because they got in the trade too, and they're like, hey, these guys are talking about it. Let's follow this, but. Nobody is in the app community. I mean, I don't think that community, I'm sure there's some, but like nobody's talking about them. And probably we should have been this whole time, but we just haven't been. So, but yeah, I would say Robinhood has improved as far, but you can't do like a Robinhood. Well, we tried a Robinhood weekly, but we saw even with having a celebrity here of Amit, the draw was not nearly there as it was for a lot of other tickers too. So,
yeah. I think Kramer is saying this as a joke, and that's why I think it's actually really bullish. I don't think he actually is telling his audience to buy these 4 stocks because he thinks the valuations and the memeness, quote unquote, of it is too much. But as Tanner said, he's going to
Kramer.
I think for some. So look, inverse Kramer to me is the guy has an opinion on every single stock because he's live 24/7. And unlike us, which if someone asks me about a stock in the chat and I have no idea about it, I'll say I have no idea. Kramer, for whatever reason, the way he's manufactured his career is always having an opinion. And like, it's a market. You could be wrong, right? And so when you have an opinion on everything and things go the opposite direction, he ends up being wrong. So I don't think inverse Kramer is like objectively true, but I think he's giving so many opinions about something that he's going to tend to be wrong. I do think, though, that he is way too quick to judge a name. Like Palantir at $6, right? He completely said it was, bullshit, whatever. Then it got to 15. He said it's still bullshit. Then it got to 25. He's like, oh no, this is real. Then it got to 120. It's like, it's too much now. So like, it's just entertainment going back and forth.
Yeah.
So I think this whole narrative of Park maybe he knew it spelled crap backwards, but literally the underlying tone here is these are meme stocks. And Tanner, you're right. If they go up, he'll say, hey, I told you. If it goes down, he'll be like, well, this is what meme stocks do. And I think that's how he's playing it. Now, speaking of an advertising name that is in the app loving space that does have a retail community, Tanner, how about you set this up?
Well, I mean, it's set up as the text on screen. The Trade Desk is joining the S&P 500, right? Roy is going to have to go to the dentist. He's gritting his teeth so hard looking at this news. He's absolutely, pissed, but that's okay. I'm happy. I put this in my stock draft. It's in my own portfolio. It's like the smallest name I have in my portfolio, so it's not going to be massive news. But you love a win. You got to take the W's. You got to smell the flowers along the journey. So I was happy to see this. Jeff Green's an unbelievable CEO. Hopefully, Google gets out of their way and pumps the stock back up to 3 digits. So
it's crazy seeing it up 14, almost 15% though. But I mean, it is a high quality company. It's usually traded very expensive. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why you think I'd be upset about that. In my prediction,
it's like calling you a Google bull. I enjoy it.
Well, yeah, in my predictions for the S&P 500 inclusion, I've been talking about the Trade Desk for like a year now. So they've deserved it. I've actually been surprised that they haven't gotten in. I think AppLovin and Robinhood, those meme stocks apparently that, at least per Kramer, are probably next. Yeah, look at this, guys.
So here's the question. Here is the question. Okay. Here is the question. It's a very important question, which is why I'm taking my time.
It's just too many
before I articulate the question, because this is a big one. Okay. Are you guys ready? I didn't get any verbal affirmation.
You don't even know what you want to say, bro.
Always ready.
No, there are some moments where I'm like setting up a topic and I'm really thinking about what do I say next, and then magically something comes. And I'm like, oh wow, that's a good topic. But
there we go.
Yeah, it's actually happened a couple times, and I'm like, wow, I fucking pulled that off somehow. But here's the question: if Robinhood does not get into the S&P 500 on the next rebalance, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep well that night, because it would be insanity. So how would you guys deal with the S&P coming out saying, hey, there were 2 companies, Juniper and the one today, that had to get replaced. We replaced them with Datadog and freaking TTD. We have no more rebalancing to do for the rest of the year, and that's pretty much it. What would be your reaction if that happens?
I might have to find a used Williams-Sonoma device and burn it in effigy. So
the time will come. They'll get.
No, but Tanner, the time needs to come in September. Is my point.
What, you looking to sell? What's the rush?
No, it would just be really annoying, bro. It would kind of make me think: is there a conspiracy? What's going on? Like what? Like
I think there's a conspiracy for AppLovin. I think that if the Trade Desk gets in before AppLovin, I think that they're worried about some sort of Chinese link. Short reports are legit. That's what I think is they're actually thinking. Hood, I don't think it's that. I think it's more segment based. The last 2 to get in were not financials. Yeah, Hood has a chance to get in. AppLovin, I now am starting to get concerned. But
like actually concerned, or
not actually, but like I'm not actually a shareholder in the company. I only have it in the stock draft.
Oh, you have it too?
What?
You have it too in your draft, AppLovin?
I have AppLovin and TTD, yeah.
Nice.
Dude,
yeah.
Tanner also has freaking Coinbase.
Yep, I got Coinbase in my draft too, so yeah. That was my second round pick, I think.
Great minds.
Him's number 1.
Yes,
I didn't have that.
Yeah, it was trading at a higher valuation when you guys did it. We got to do like a mega draft next year. So
you don't need Hims whenever you have Nvidia. That was going to be a wiener joke. Anyway.
Oh, what? Okay. Anyway,
I didn't know if I could
say. Dude, you can say anything on this stream. I mean, we have fun on this one. But look, I really would be disappointed if we don't get in September. We rewatched the video in the market close of me in the airport when the stock went all the way down and then came all the way back up. And it was like pure heartbreak. So if we don't get in, it's not because Robinhood doesn't deserve it. Again, Robinhood and AppLovin, 2 largest market caps that are available to get in. Next one is Carvana. So it would just be very weird. I mean, like, I get your argument, Tanner, that the segments, maybe they have too many financials, but there are legitimately companies that don't deserve to be in the S&P 500 that you would think get get rebalanced.
Yeah. But S&P is not like they're not growth at all cost. Like, I don't know. They look at it a little bit differently. So I don't think that there's just going to be a complete rebalance to all the names that could get in, but maybe there will be. The amount of tech names that are in the S&P 500 has just gone like this recently. Like, I think they're at like I don't remember the exact percentages. I did a video on it so long ago about the sector balance difference between NASDAQ versus S&P 500. I don't remember the statistics too much, but I think it went from like 9% to 29% over the last little bit for S&P 500. So they've been doubling down, but I think the NASDAQ's at like 54% or something. Like, it's incredibly more tech concentrated.
Honestly, if the S&P 500 had not gone that route, they would not have the results that they had either. This has actually made me a little bit less bullish on the S&P 500 in general as an index. Just like not so much about Robinhood not going in. I mean, that happens, and I'm sure they have their reasons and whatever. They're wrong. That's fine. They can buy at a higher price if they want to wait until Devin Ryan's 125. Fine. If they want to wait to 150. Fine. It's going to get in at some point. But them last quarter doing nothing when there's, I don't know, like almost 150 companies that wouldn't even qualify for entry had they been on the outside. Some of those which have not made profit in a long time either, that are deteriorating, that have no moat, that are not strong companies. It's like, you guys really couldn't find some to get rid of and add other credible companies. Some that I am a shareholder of, but many that I'm not. It's just like, okay, what are you guys doing? Made no sense to me.
It's weird. I agree. It is very, very weird. But as Tom Lee said, tech will lead earnings for the S&P to the tune of 50% by 2035. So it's hard to shy away from tech. And that's another reason why I think Robinhood gets the multiple, because they ultimately are a tech company. By the way, speaking of Robinhood getting the multiple, here is Vlad today on a podcast explaining why the company might have gotten their multiple.
When you were last in that chair, had a market cap of $35 billion. And today, I think the market cap is about $85 billion. And so it's been a pretty good 8 months.
That was that 8 months ago? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I felt pretty good back then. You know, it's always nice when the market cap goes up. Things get easier. You walk a little bit straighter. People listen to what you have to say. So we don't look at it, of course. That's what they tell you. You can't pay attention to it. But
is that the biggest load of BS in a company? Like, you know, I'm friends with Daniel at Spotify, and it's 148 billion now. And I think he feels a lot better now it's 148.
He does. Yeah. It's I think it's very difficult. I don't know if it's easier with other companies, but my product pushes stock prices into your brain. By using it, it's just hard to ignore. So I think it's especially difficult for a business like ours.
It's the most meta thing, isn't it? If you do, like, you guys looking at stock prices on Robinhood.
Yeah.
It's like doing a podcast about podcasting. I did just want to start on that because it has been insane. I tweeted last night that it's kind of the story of Wall Street bluntly, which is just this insane rise of Robinhood in the last year. If you were to put it down to one or two things, what do you think the street has appreciated that they did not before?
I think that we've been saying the same things and articulating a strategy pretty clearly over the past 2 years, really. And I think it just takes time to understand that it's working. And we've gotten fortunate in a sense that many things have worked very, very well.
So it is working. And to prove another data point on why it's working, Tanner, I really freaking hope your earnings estimates are going to be right, because the street was expecting 885 million 2 weeks ago. Now they're expecting 908 million. I'm
not changing my estimate. I believe it. So, but could you bring that video up really quickly? Because this is how you know Vlad's still working hard. I mean, he's talking about try to get a side profile of him where they show off. It was at the beginning and somewhere in the middle. Yep, there you go. It was even worse at the beginning if you could try to find that one. But his posture is terrible, dude. But that's yeah, look at that.
Hold on. I had no idea Tanner was going the posture route. That is,
dude. He's like, oh, when the stock price is higher, we stand a little straighter. I'm like, if it gets any worse than this, man. But that's how you know he's coding. He's working. He's coding. But like, bro, you have gamer posture. He's sitting like this. Like, I'm sorry, Vlad, but like, come on, man.
Well,
I
man.
think his elbows are touching. What does he do? Anyway, love you, Vlad.
That's Tanner. He went there. That's Tanner. He went there. Roy, what was your takeaway from what Vlad said right there?
Well, so just circling back to the S&P 500 real quick, and all this too. That's the main thing is S&P 500. Yeah, it'll lead to some increase in price action and the price of the stock too. Like it'll do that. But I mean, we know a lot of the employees there, and it is a big and significant moment for most companies when they get into the big boys club, the S&P 500. I would imagine even more so for a brokerage like Robinhood. So I think that this is going to be highly meaningful and worthy of celebration. I think Vlad is happy. You know, of course, he owns a lot of the company, but also for his employees, also for shareholders. And it's his job as a CEO to drive shareholder value. And he's done that, like mission accomplished. You know, some of our commenters and viewers are like, hey, Vlad's really impressed me over the last 5 years. And it's not all just because of price action, but that's certainly part of it too. It's like there are not many people. I can't imagine there's anybody that's holding Robinhood that's not a happy investor right now. And that's a wonderful place to be as a CEO. So this is a rewarding time as far as evaluation multiples. Vlad's right. I'm glad that the market realizes what they've been sleeping on the whole time. We'll see whether this is long-term, but the narrative on them is so strong. I think there's going to be many other Devin Ryan type predictions out there, not the same quality perhaps, but a lot of other people that see the same thing, that this is going to be one of the largest financial institutions in the United States. Give it a decade, give it a little longer. The way that they're executing, the way they're disrupting, they are generational. So am I buying more here? No, I'm not, but I already have a nice size position. If it falls at some point, I'm going to be looking at adding.
Tanner, you started a chain reaction in the comments, which is freaking
Looking like a slumped John Wick is my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard him compared to John Wick a number of times too. That's funny.
Okay, so Roy, I agree with everything you're saying, and I think the street, if they do get into the S&P 500, they're going to treat him like a big boy, and they're treating Robinhood like a big boy company with the multiple they're getting, and Robinhood is putting up the growth. Any thoughts from any of you on this 908 million? Because I guess when the street saw the June updates, they were like, "All right, we're taking our estimates higher."
I mean, they're getting a bump again from Say Technologies. We looked at that previously. It's somewhere around 30 million, maybe just a little bit under. It's a seasonality thing due to the proxy materials. So it was a little bit lighter as far as the transactional revenue quarter, but yeah, they're solid. I don't think that prediction is ridiculous at all. Might actually come in a little higher.
Absolutely ridiculous. 947 will be the number. Mark your calendars. No, I'm kidding.
I like your number better, Tanner.
That would be 38% growth if you're right about 947. It would be 33% if the street's right about 908.
Yeah, Devin Ryan said 53% for transactional based revenue year over year. I'm saying 55, 56. I think the difference that we have is the take rate on crypto.
Yeah. And of course, Bitstamp will begin to hit next quarter, like the full quarter. There'll be some this quarter. It'll be interesting.
But there will be some this quarter.
There will be some. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I had not thought about that with quarter two numbers. So your number is actually more likely to be right, Tanner. So.
It's from what I can determine for Q2 for Bitstamp will probably, just for the 1 month, will probably be about 7 million from Bitstamp, 6 to 7 million. So let's hope. Let's hope.
We got earnings in 2 weeks, folks. July 30th, we have earnings, and I think Robinhood will deliver, but ultimately we are going to see what results they put out. All right, I think that is it for us. The big news that kind of hijacked the stream today, but I don't think any of us mind that it hijacked the stream. Nvidia H20 confirmed by Trump himself will be now back in delivery to China. That should add about 20 billion of revenue this year if they can get to recognizing it by Q3, Q4. So probably less than 20 billion, but still would be incredible for them. And that's going to take street analyst updates higher for EPS and revenue targets. And as a result, the street is reciprocating by taking Nvidia all the way to 169 in the overnight markets.
I
This will be
did,
the
by the
first
way.
$5 trillion company.
Yeah, it will be. I did, by the way, find CoinGecko is the site that I was thinking of that actually tracks the exchange volume itself. I believe under statistics, it breaks it out and you can zoom back, or maybe that's a paid feature. But regardless, if you're looking for that, Tanner, that's where you'll find it, or anybody else.
There you go. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Again, deeply appreciate people showing up every single week. Everyone's Twitter and YouTubes are in the comments or in the description.
Dude, we started the I'm going to cut you off. But we started the Robinhood Weekly, which turned into the Tech Bros Weekly, and it started small, man, and it's just grown and grown and grown. So I don't know, maybe taking a company from like 30 to $100 a share had something to do with it, but yeah, it's been awesome, and I appreciate this every single week.
Yeah, it definitely helps. And Willy Wonka, who gifted 5 memberships to me this morning, Crossroads. You just
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'll have the after hours thing come out. Actually, I hadn't put it on there yet. I'll do that right after this.
All right. I love it. Thank you again every week for being here, everybody. We get a blast doing this every single week, and we get to talk as friends about stocks that we're interested in and hopefully share all that due diligence with the rest of you guys. And we get to see some pretty breaking news on one of the world's most important companies happen in real time. So very excited stuff to be here every single week.
Thanks, guys.
Getting a foot massage after the stream.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys next week, and I'll see everyone tomorrow in the market open. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.